Hello Cancer, I'd like to welcome you to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This reading is for the week of April 16th through 22nd. If this is your first time here, I hope you'll pick up your tarot cards and read along with me. If you've been with me before, I'd like to thank you for having me back. Please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Let's go ahead and get started. Ooh, a 4 of Swords. So you're definitely somebody who, I feel like you're kind of a peacekeeper, you know? I feel like there is quite often some friction around you, right? I feel like you're in a lot of conflict usually, you know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like the people around you are always arguing, right? And I think you try not to get involved in that. Or you sometimes try to really just tell everybody, hey, just kind of calm down, let's cool off, let's go back to our corners and rest and relax and come back to this tomorrow, you know. You try, but see, I think you do that for your own peace of mind, for your own peace and quiet, you know. I feel like you are in a situation either at work, at school, at home, at church, in the community, wherever, that there are just people that don't get along, right? And I think it kind of ruins the vibe for you. I think that you're trying to enjoy yourself. You're trying to rest and be peaceful and enjoy life and focus on your interests. But I feel the people around you are just, I don't know if they like to argue or they just are sometimes kind of miserable, and they bicker, they argue, they complain. And I feel like sometimes with the 4 of Swords, they try to draw you into it. You know, they try to ask you something and sometimes you fall for it, but I think most of the time you say, I'm not that stupid, I'm not getting involved. Because you're trying to focus on your peace, your calm, your health, your work, your projects, your creativity, your spiritual work, all of this stuff. So I don't know what environment you're in, but I know that you don't want to engage in conflicts. You don't want to participate with these other people because you see, just I think being in proximity to that, you feel the energetic drain. It's exhausting, right? It would be even more exhausting if you were in there doing that too, right? Let's do our mystery card here before we forget. Give it another shuffle here. Now the mystery card we're not going to look at until the very end of the reading, and we're going to leave it right there. Hopefully that'll tie everything together and give us the confirmation at the end, all right? So, the exhausting nature of having this kind of environment, right? Imagine if you were one of those people that just are complaining about everything, arguing about everything. Everything is a disaster. Everything is a challenge. Everything is a fight. Everything rubs you the wrong way. I think that would be very exhausting. Very, very exhausting. But let's see, because I know that you don't want that energy. You want to relax. Yes, 4 of Pentacles. A lot of 4s here today, so far. The 4 of Pentacles, I feel like this is something that's going on in your home environment. I think it's literally going on within the 4 walls that you live, right? Within your domain, within your house, within your castle, your kingdom even. And I feel like you're trying to really just rest and recover. Maybe you're recovering from an illness. Maybe you had a cold or a flu recently, or you had a minor injury. You're just trying to rest. You know, maybe you've had a really busy year so far, and you're just trying to chill, you know. And I feel like you should be allowed, you expect to be allowed, you're rather disappointed that there's this, I just feel like you feel a lack of respect, right? You feel that a respectful situation would allow you room to breathe, to have peace and quiet, to recuperate or recover if you did have a minor injury or illness. And if you did, I'm sorry that you're going through that. I'm happy that you're on the mend. I'm happy that you're focused on your recovery, your rest, your restoration. I'm not happy that the environment that you are in seems to be full of this very anxious, very kind of angry energy. Let's see if we can get a little bit more clarity on that. That's kind of expected. An 8 of cups. I'd almost wish it was a 7 of cups, to be honest with you. The 7 of cups, that would tell me that, hey, things aren't as bad as they seem. But with the 8 of cups, yeah, things are as bad as they seem. But I think you have days where you can tolerate it. Days aren't so bad. Other days are pretty bad. I think that you are beginning to not be affected so much by all of the negative energy around you, but by the simple lack of respect or concern that people seem to be showing toward you. It's almost like you've come to the conclusion, the acceptance of the fact that yes, everybody's going to fight, they're going to have their energy, and that's fine. I can get used to it. I can put my headphones in, I can put some earplugs in, I can turn the TV up loud. That's fine. I've learned how to live with that. But I think what is really bothering you with the 8 of Cups here is the lack of care and concern or respect that people seem to have for you. The fighting, whatever, we can deal with it. But it's just kind of disheartening that these people aren't very supportive of you. Okay? And I think that's what's going on underneath the surface. Okay? I think that this is maybe something that you're just beginning to kind of think about, or that you haven't really thought about before, but it's something creeping into your consciousness. And it's this pessimism kind of. It's kind of this glass is half empty kind of vibe. And I don't know, again, if this is you live with relatives, if you live with just, like roommates. But whatever situation it is, I feel like you're not really going anywhere right now. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if this is kind of where you have to be for a little while, if this is where you're recovering or recuperating, or if this is just your home, damn it, and you're not going to leave. So I feel like there is this kind of reluctant acceptance of the situation. And it's kind of this pessimism, just kind of this energy I'm feeling of like, things aren't really going to get better. This is just the way it is, and it sucks, but I'll figure out a way to deal with it. Let's go to the recent past, because we've got this Lust or Strength card, the 11th mystery of the tarot. That is giving me an indication that there's something going on with your vitality. That if this card isn't confirming an injury or an illness, this card is confirming some kind of a diminishing power, a diminishing like vital energy. Do you know what I mean? It's like there was recently a drain of this fire. Okay. And I don't know if that maybe is, like I said, if that's confirming some kind of injury or illness. But I just feel like in the fairly recent past, you were a very powerful, vibrant person. These two cards are very different. The 8 of Cups and the Lust or Strength card. It's the antithesis, right? Your fiery energy, your lust for life, right? Your enjoyment, your power, your sense of adventure, your sense of magic and mystery in the universe as well. I feel has now, because of the situation you're in, has kind of become this, right? Some of that lustful energy has drained from your cups. And we have this feeling of being kind of half empty now. I know I said that, but it is feeling like there's an emptiness. It feels like this is a memory still. This isn't present here right now. Okay? Do you know what I mean? There's an emptiness where this lust or strength used to be. Okay? And I don't know if this is all because of the environment that you're in, the situation that you're in with these fours. Because these fours aren't going anywhere. The fours are four walls, stable, not moving. Okay? Even the 8 cups, even number, stable, not moving. We need to shake things up. Because I feel like this fiery energy, this was you, this was your life, you're vibrant. Right? Something now has solidified that, crystallized that, frozen that down into whatever situation we're in now. Let's see what's up above everything here. What are we aspiring to? What is it that we really want? Well, 9 of Wands, strength, vitality. All right? I mean, that's an obvious, that's a little too on the nose here. But we'll take it. That's what we want. That's what we all want. We want to live according to our will. We want to live a full, enriching, engaged, strong spiritual life. We want to have our external world match our internal desires. We want to live a life that is aesthetically pleasing. We want to live a life that is fulfilling our inmost nature, right? We want to be strong. We want to be vibrant. We want to be powerful. We want to have the strength of our own convictions, not even a physical strength, a mental, emotional, spiritual strength, right? I heard a phrase the other day on, some program I was watching. Someone told another character in the show that they were a spiritual first responder. And that stuck with me. I like that. Because a lot of readings, and I got to admit, my guilty pleasure is watching some of these other tarot readers that are all just sunshine and roses. You know what I mean? I love watching that stuff. It's kind of like watching a reality show. With all the drama, the relationship drama, and all this kind of stuff that, one of your exes is thinking about you, and they're going to call you at 3:33 in the morning on Saturday, and it's just really good drama. It's entertaining. But I feel like that doesn't really address what a lot of us are going through, So the idea of a spiritual first responder really stuck with me, and it's just, that's what we need, I think we have to be our own medics, our own spiritual, energy medic, spiritual first responder. And, I feel like in this situation, you're going through a spiritual dilemma. I don't want to call it a crisis, but you're going through what is, an important time in your life. And you need some spiritual clarity. You need, I think, someone or something, your own higher soul, your own true self, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, to communicate with you about things that are going to bring you an increase of awareness, bring you an increase of hope, bring you an increase of strength and power and motivation. Even if it's not a physical strength or a physical power, we need the strength of our spirit. And I think that's what the 9 of Wands is talking about. That's what we aspire to. We aspire to be made whole again. When we're in any kind of a conflict, a dilemma, a fight, a crisis, the resolution to that crisis is going to always look like a 9 of Wands, right? The 9 of Wands looks kind of strangely similar to the 7 of Wands. Now, the 7 of Wands is about the spiritual fight. The 9 of Wands is our success in that fight, right? the strength that we receive through that fight, because our trials and tribulations are not arbitrary, meaningless, random, for someone or something else's amusement. I mean, it could be, I don't know. I don't feel that it is, though. I feel like every dilemma, every conflict, every fight, every argument, every challenge we meet in life is an opportunity for us to get a little bit closer to this strength, spiritual strength. What is the way forward for you? The sun energy. Beautiful. Beautiful. The sun energy. The sun is very much like this Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is the inner energy that is fueling this kind of outer reality. Okay, and this is a complete restoration of health. This is you getting back to this lust or strength energy. This card here rules the sign of Leo. And yes, I know I'm talking to Cancer. The lust or strength card is the Leo card. Leo in astrology is ruled by the sun. Okay. So this is very interesting because it's kind of saying that, look, that passion, that lust, that vibrance, that power and confidence and strength and that enthusiasm, that lust for life that you have is not lost. It's not lost. We need to, it's almost like we need to kind of circumvent everything that's going on down here and just go up top. We need to alter our trajectory, alter the angles, do the math a little bit differently so that we can go up, hit the Nine of Wands, and come down into this solar energy. This is freedom, this is health, this is confidence, this is that really like outgoing vibrance, the brilliance that you are. And as the way forward, I think this is very interesting because the sun shines, right? The sun doesn't care if it's raining, doesn't care if it's cloudy, doesn't care if everyone around it is arguing. The sun shines. That's what it does. It has its internal components, its fuel, it has its kind of chemical processes and that sort of thing, which I feel are kind of these two, right? Nine of Wands, Eight of Cups, fire, water, the mixture that's in there, the gasoline and the air, and everything that's just mixing together is fueling this. So in some ways, this is just like you using all of this negativity, this stagnation, this environment that you're in, using it to somehow get back to this shining, radiant person that you are. Okay, and I know that's kind of a meaningless statement. I don't feel that's very helpful. But as the immediate future, I see that we can get back to this, right? We maybe have to get back to having the sun in Leo, which I don't know if you're watching for your sun, your moon, or your rising sign right now. But to have this kind of energy, and I'm curious what planets are in your sign of Leo, if anything, or what house it's in maybe. But I feel like to really get this connection back, get this lust for life back, get our power back, I feel like we have to focus on the solar energy. Okay? The solar energy that's here as well. Because I feel that is the way forward, the solar energy. Do some research on the sun in astrology. Do some research on solar and sun symbolism. And I think that'll give you a clue on how we're to move forward in this situation and how we're to restore this lust or strength card that we seem to be missing out on. That seems to be but a memory right now. So I'm still looking for some practical advice here. particularly like when the readings get too abstract or too philosophical or too mystical, because I feel like a lot of us just need some practical advice. Like, yeah, all this is good, but what do I do? You know? We got a 3 of Pentacles now, and this 3 of Pentacles is your general energy moving forward. And this is showing a real commitment to the work and the path and the decisions that you make, right? If you do the research, like I said, looking up the solar sun symbolism and looking up the sun in astrology, that I think will give you some practical things that you can work on, some techniques, some visualizations, just some affirmations, just maybe reassessing how you're looking at the world, you know? How to tap into that solar energy despite the 4 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles that we're living in right now, okay? So the 3 of Pentacles is really saying that you have to push forward with doing the work that is necessary right now at this moment. So I think this is a refocusing, not focusing on the negative things that are around us, right? We're putting up a shield, a force field, almost. This sun energy is so bright and hot, shining and brilliant and blinding that we're keeping the negative energy at bay, right? So that we can focus on our internal workings, mind, body, soul, right? So this is doing the work that you need to make this full recovery, right? If you are dealing with a minor injury or illness, or, you know, if you're laid up somewhere, focus on those things internally that you need in order to restore yourself as much as possible, right? And I think in order to focus on yourself, on your internals, you need to invoke a little bit of this sun energy. And it's almost like you're putting on the mask, you're putting on the persona that you need right now in order to keep the negative energy away so that you can do the internal work that you need. Okay. Let's see what else is in your environment, or how this might translate to your relationship with the environment. Well, we've got a fire sign. We've got I'm going to move these down a little bit. We've got a Queen of Wands, and I wonder if this is a particular person in your environment right now that might be kind of, you know, public enemy number 1 kind of thing. Because I feel like they might be like the main troublemaker where you live. It could be a fire sign person. And it's interesting that they're right next to this sun card. Okay, and yeah, I know I kind of moved them that way, but, you know, they're still next to each other. It's almost as if you have to be as radiant and as just so cheerful and so blindingly warm and happy that it shuts that person down, you know? I don't like the kill them with kindness cliche, but it kind of is a bit like that now. I think in this situation, it is a little bit like that, where, again, that's kind of our force field. That's kind of the method, the strategy that we're employing in order to keep the negative energy away, right? And I don't know what that would look like, that solar energy, if that is just being nice and being cheerful, or, you know, however it looks, however you're expressing this energy, to keep the negativity away so that you can focus on what's really important to you right now. But I think that fire sign person is the ringleader of all of this. And we've got an Ace of Swords coming after this. So I think the Ace of Swords is interesting because we started with the Four of Swords. You're trying to keep everybody kind of happy. You want some peace and quiet. You want to rest and recover. You want everybody to just kind of leave you alone and just to stop with the arguing and all this negative energy. With that Ace of Swords, I almost feel like you're going to lay down the law, you know? But it's in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns. So it's almost as if that's what you don't want to do. It's almost like that's you're hesitant, you're apprehensive about that, right? And maybe the Ace of Wands is more about you removing yourself from these fours, right? Removing yourself from this idea that you have to resist that swords energy, that air energy, that conflict energy, that negativity, right? Maybe through this solar energy, you're going to have the realization that it doesn't need to affect you. You know, it's almost like not taking it personally. You know, because that sun energy, again, it just shines, it does its work, it has its internal processes going on, it's shining, it's radiating. It doesn't take it personally when the wind blows, or when the rain comes, or when the people down here on planet Earth are fighting and blowing stuff up. It doesn't take it personally. It just continues along its path, does its work, and shines. Okay. So, I don't know why the Ace of Swords is in the position of your fears and worries. Other than there is this reluctance to lay down the law. And maybe that's why we're kind of taking a different method here. We're taking a more, I don't know, maybe a more passive resistance kind of thing, rather than laying down the law. But either way, I think you're gonna understand, you're gonna have that realization about this situation, you know. And I think, honestly, it's through this solar energy. I don't think laying down the law is, I don't think it's the method that you are interested in utilizing, okay? And I don't think it's what's being suggested anyway, because it seems like the way forward is that solar energy. Oh, and what do we have that just jumped out? The devil energy. The devil energy. This is a solitary figure. The devil card is a very powerful card. It is a card that is going to climb the mountain themselves, doesn't need help, doesn't want anyone involved. It almost is like you're using this solar energy. But if it really comes down to it, if it's absolutely necessary and you have that realization, you can go full goat on them, you know. You could really lay down that law if you need to. You know, I almost see this goat as carrying this sword around, right? You're trying to be sunshine, right? But if it really needs to happen, you can be a sword-wielding goat, okay? And that is if, I think this fire sign person, if there's too much interference in what you're doing, in your will, in your work, if it is something you're trying to recover from something, or you're trying to just focus your energy on some project or some part of your work, it's something that you need to isolate yourself from this negativity in order to pursue. Okay? So I say the goat is climbing the mountain solo, doesn't need any help, it wants to make so much progress that it can't even hear or see what's going on down the mountain. Okay? And I think that's your energy, that's your ambition. That is you really focusing every ounce of your energy on the work that you need to do, which, again, feels to me like there's some sort of recovery or rest or restoration happening. And that goat is symbolizing you focusing, laser focus, all of your power on that. Right? We started with the Three of Pentacles, showing that you're starting to do the internal work, focus on what's inside, and get everything in order. And then we need to bypass this Queen of Wands, this Ace of Swords. I think we should stop by here and at least take it with us. We might need it. And then get a move on with that goat. You know. Mystery card. What else do we need in all of this? Well, I'll tell you what, right now, we didn't have a lot of water. We had the Eight of Cups, and that was not pleasant waters at all. I kind of look at the Three of Pentacles as showing an ocean, showing a water, a sea. So I do feel like this is almost like a spaceship that's trying to lift off above that water, trying to get away from all of that water, all of that negativity, all of that pessimism, all of that just disappointment and sadness, right? Getting away from all of that energy, trying to get away from it, trying to lift off and move on, right? So what is the mystery card then? If we're thinking more water, I'm thinking it's going to be more water. We're kind of stagnating, we're kind of sorrowful, mournful, disappointed with the Eight. We're trying to get away from that energy. So what is this going to be? Maybe Six of Cups? It could be, I think a Three of Cups might be nice, you know. I don't know that we're ready for the Three of Cups, though. It's going to be some water. Some water energy here. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is pure water energy. So it's not water in a particular phase of its action. It's not an Ace, not a 2, not a 3. It's definitely not this 8. This is pure water. So this is like, how do we want to use the water? What do we want the water to be? Okay. We could remain in the position we're in now, remain where we are, and suffer. We could go deeper into the water and really explore this Eight of Cups and see what that's all about, see why we feel that way and what that means, and we can really explore the psychology of that. We could lift off and get far away from the water if we wanted to. Just leave it all behind. Or we could look for some different water. Look for the healing water. Look for the water that is going to kind of wash the dirt and mud from our eyes so we can see things a little bit more clearly. So water has a lot of different uses. You know, you certainly got to bring some water for that goat, right? If you're trying to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time, you got to have something to drink. So this water is also the water of spirit, the water of soul, the water of intuition, the water of understanding, the waters of love and commitment and devotion, right? This water will come with you up that mountain and it's there when you need it. And this is your purpose. This is your meaning. So the Hanged Man really here is in this, it's almost like the Hanged Man has dived from the diving board and has frozen in midair and now has to decide what kind of water is it going to land in. Right? What kind of water do you want? I think that's important for us Cancers to ask. Because we're going to be emotional about something. Right? I think that's guaranteed. We know that. But what? Where do we want to put our emotional energy? I think that's a question. We're going to end with that. Cancer, I really hope this resonated with you, and I thank you for letting me read for you today. I look forward to seeing you again next week, but if you want to stick around for the extended, you can click on the link that's right up here. All right, you can have access to all of the extended readings. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you on the other side.